This is Forky. He's a spork with googly eyes. Disney sells him for over $30 at the theme parks. The original Buzz Lightyear just sold for over $60 on eBay. Toy Story came out in 1995, and the marketing behind the Toy Story movie launched Pixar into the stratosphere and has some of the best storytelling in the Walt Disney Company to this day. But in today's video, I'm taking a look back at some of the retro toys and the marketing pushes through the Kids Mill toys that made Toy Story so magical throughout the 90's and early 2000s. Toy Story came out in 1995, and a small toy company known as Thinkway Toys actually manufactured the toys for the movie. Larger toy companies like Mattel and Hasbro actually passed on the Toy Story line, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because at the time, Toy Story was kind of seen as a gamble. With the smash hit success of Toy Story, Thinkway Toys actually could not meet consumer demand, and you can see it in some of their rushed toys in the Toy Story line. There were also budgetary restrictions for Thinkway Toys because of this exploding demand for Woody and Buzz in particular. And like I said before, the rushed production of these toys is not great. As you'll see in some of these pictures. I mean, look at this Buzz Lightyear. His wings are way too short. Woody, what are you doing? It looks like he just got off of a bender on a 5-day cruise. Probably the toy that Thinkway is known best for is going to be the Talking Buzz Lightyear toy. So they produced about 50,000 units back in 1995, and it had the glow in the dark paint that you see from the movie. But like I said before, these wings are way too short, and but everything else on the toy looks great. So this is actually the one that sells for over $60 on eBay. So I'm looking to pick this guy up for the collection. So stay tuned for future content on him. Thinkway also produced some of these weird dolls, so I don't really know what was going on with them. Some of these are like 4 feet tall and like 3 feet tall, and they just look real goofy. So Goof Troop was alive and well during that time as well. And yeah, what more can I say? If I do come across some of these dolls, though, I'm likely to pick it up just because they're so crazy. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get this weird Buzz Lightyear and set on his lap for Christmas. Thinkway would go on to reproduce the Toy Story toy line, which, hallelujah, they did. And the toy qualities actually got a lot better in the future iterations for the action figures in particular. And the Thinkway action figures actually hold up a lot better than that first release did. One of the biggest marketing push would come from Burger King, which they actually had a lot of the Disney licensing for their Burger King kids meals. So there was also Lion King in the future Pocahontas film with toys. So look for future content coming from the Burger King kids meal toys. But yeah, these toys were very well produced, and I distinctively remember the Toy Story finger puppets in the Christmas ad from the 90's, and Burger King was on point. The Toy Story finger puppets were a core memory for me. I distinctively remember that Christmas ad, and I believe I had the Rex and the Ham finger puppet, and my older sister can correct me if I'm wrong. We also might have had the Buzz Lightyear as well. In fact, throughout the 90's and early 2000s, Burger King, I think, was a little bit better than McDonald's, but McDonald's would see Toy Story 2 toys and marketing come to their restaurants. In addition to the Thinkway toys and the Burger King Kids Meal toys, there was also a huge marketing push through Disney Interactive, which they produced a lot of the Disney video games back in the 90's. And I very much remember the Toy Story video game for Sega Genesis. That was my preferred way to play. Had somebody growing up who was a friend, and we would go over to their house, me and my older brother, and we would play the Toy Story game. Back in those days, kids, you would have to actually finish the game in one sitting. There were no save states. So the Toy Story game I loved. Look for future content on that as well. So I teased it a little bit earlier in the video, but I am actually going to be hunting some of the Burger King toys for Toy Story from 1995, including the puppets as well. That toy set is so nostalgic for me. I can remember my grandmother taking me and collecting all those toys with my siblings. And I just love that old school Toy Story feel. In addition to that, I'm also going to be hunting the Toy Story 2 McDonald's Happy Meal toys, which there were a lot. So I'm super excited to hunt those toys as well. They're very nostalgic from 1999, and they are very different from the ones that came out for the Burger King toys. So look out for future content, and especially a trip coming up next week when I go to Chicago. So I'll be hunting for some Disney, Pixar, 90s, and early 2000s toys. So look out for that content. Toy Story has literally been in my DNA since the 90s when I was growing up. I have fond memories of these toys and collecting them with my grandparents and my siblings. And I just have a huge emotional attachment to these toys and to collect them from my childhood and relive it through these action figures. From the toys to the video games and rewatching the movies on VHS and Disney DVD, Toy Story is about a franchise that grew up with me, and I think it grew up with you too. And that's why I have a huge emotional attachment to the Toy Story and Pixar franchises in particular. Toy Story and Toy Story 2 would go on to spin off for Disney Channel, which was Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. And I loved that movie and animated TV series. I wish it was on Disney Plus. Josh Tomorrow, if you're watching this video, go ahead and put it on Disney Plus. But that's to tease on some of the content that's to come to DizWiz Dollars, where I'm going to be collecting my childhood, reliving it through nostalgia, seeing it through a smart money and theme park lens as well. So look for that content where I'm going to go through and also collect some of the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command McDonald's Happy Meal toys, which actually created a rocket ship, which was pretty cool. Even in my 30s, I love reliving my childhood through Disney, Pixar, and nostalgic toys. It's just a really fun way to get back and get out of this AI and digital world. And that's what this channel is all about: nostalgia, theme parks, and smart money. So if you do like this type of content, please hit like and subscribe. It does help grow the channel. And as always, I hope your money meets the magic, and look forward to next week when I'm going to be in Chicago and I'm going to be hunting some of the 90s and early 2000s toys from my childhood. So stay tuned for that, and I'm going to see you in the next video.